right. It's Razor Red 7's podcast, razorred7.podbean.com. And I will also upload this on my YouTube channel at YouTube/C/Razor Red 7. Low caps. All right. There ain't nobody with me yet. They're still on their way for the out of town. I'm in Jacksonville. I just wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for about a week. Has nothing to do with work. Has something to do with music. Now I know that the out of town crew, we dove into about where we cap out with cars, which I thought that was really cool because I just wanted to know because I've in a sense a millennial, me, and then an older gentleman. So I just wanted to know where we all stood with vehicles. But when the out of town crew gets here, and we may do a podcast either Monday or maybe Tuesday because we're going to be working 10-hour days, so it's going to be a little rough. But I'm already set up, ready to go. But we're going to talk about music. And the reason why I want to get into... I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I wanted also OGB involved because he also plays. So basically everybody in the out-of-town crew, we get along really well. And I believe the reason why we do is because we all play an instrument. Bigsby or whatever's, knife, laser finger crazy. He plays guitar and electric. Bags plays electric or acoustic. And I play the drums and I sing. And I actually finally found the old music from 7 and 77, the two bands that I was in, and they're still my best friends. And we're trying to hook back up and play some music, but or write new music because we wrote our own music. We didn't play anybody else's music because it was easier for us to write music than play somebody else's music. We're all self-taught, so that's probably the reason why we try not to play everybody else's music because it's fairly difficult. But I wanted to get into a few things, and I will get into this. This is going to be the topic of the out-of-town crew when they get here and we sit down and actually talk, is that this is really hard to do. What is your favorite band that you have listened to from a kid all the way up to present day? I mean, there's so many bands and so many subgenres nowadays to even put that in a perspective. Now everybody says like, oh, well, Ozzy would be, laser fingers, and then Bags would be like whatever new gent band is out there, like he likes ska, so I like ska too, but I don't know any ska bands. If it comes on, I'm not going to change it, but I like everything. I like rock, I like rap, I like R&B. I mean, I grew up on pop, Michael Jackson, Madonna. That is my genre in my early years. And then like everybody heard Metallica, and then you were like, whoa, I'm blown away by this band, and then boom, now all of a sudden you're a headbanger. I think that's what they were called back in the day. And then you're a headbanger. And then I came across another band, which I really like because I was all right. So basically what I'm saying is, not to try to throw it out there yet, but Pennywise just came out with a new album last week, and I've been jamming to it. Oh God, what a great album! But everybody can say if you're not a punk fan, it sounds like the last album. The last album sound like the previous album. That last album all right. I know that with punk, they're supposed to sound punk. There is a punk drum beat, which considers them punk, and the lyrics that they use for them to be punk, against the government and stuff like that. And that's just the way it works with punk. Now, there's some punk bands that don't really go into politics, but they it's about normal things or whatever that they're talking about in their lyrics, which is fine. But that punk beat is still there, especially in indie punk. Pennywise is still considered indie punk. They don't have a major label. They're still under the label of the guitar player of Bad Religion, which that is a punk band, which they're political as well, which another great band. I fucking love Bad Religion. But It's all right. If you were to ask me, what is my favorite? What is your number one favorite band? That's a hard thing to actually answer because somebody can say, well, Breaking Benjamin. But that's what you're currently listening to now because they just came out with a new album a month ago, which I've been listening to. I'm a big Benjamin fan. I love Benj. They're they're very consistent, and that's the reason why I like Benj. Even though they went through a drummer and stuff like that, but the new drummer that they got really nailed the style because Mr. Benjamin is very specific on how he wants the Benjamin label to sound. You know, he's very specific, and I heard he was kind of a prick about it, but you know, when you're successful like that, you want to keep that going. Now, there's a lot of bands that like to change their sound and go a different route, which I don't like. I mean, play it safe. Benjamin plays it safe. They stick to their own sound. When you listen to Benjamin, you're gonna get that same sound on every album. Some people think that's a drawback. We're like, it sounds like the last album. But weren't you headbanging to the last album? Oh yeah, it's a great album. Then you should headbang to this album. That's the whole reason why they stay safe. Another genre, or not a genre, band that I absolutely adore is 3 Days Grace. Before the original singer left, I like that set of albums because, again, he's a great writer, great musician. He played it safe from all their albums before he exited 3 Days Grace and basically handed over the name and said, nah, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Just do what you want with the name. And then they got the new singer, which I believe is the bassist brother, which it's not bad. It still sounds like 3 Days Grace every now and then, but it doesn't have that flow like 3 Days Grace, like the original 3 Days Grace. That I can listen to the first album all the way to Transit to Venus. I don't have to skip a song. Now, the only songs I do skip is the radio play songs because I've heard them a million fucking times. Even though I don't listen to terrestrial radio, you can walk into a damn movie or movie, like a Publix or whatever, you can fucking hear it or some shit. So now I try not to skip them, but yeah, you can front to back those. I like albums that I can listen to front to back. Breaking Bench, front to back, almost damn near every. Actually, you know what? Every album. Benj, you can just play it all the way through. Oh my God! You go on a trip, I usually start with the latest album, work my way back. I have no idea why, but you know, you can start with the first album and work your way forward. Now, all right, let's go into genres. All right, so I told you kind of how I like albums and how they. And today I just don't listen to one song. I wait for the album to come out. I have Google Play. When it comes out, I listen to the album. Just the album. Because I want to hear what's on it. I'm not just a song person where I'm like, oh, this is a cool song, Spotify, and then just do that, and then when it rotates back in, it just comes in. No, that's not my thing. I listen to the album like I would have went to a CD store, bought the CD, and then I'm stuck with the album, regardless if it's good or bad. So I still do that to this day. So if you were to ask me, what is your favorite band of all time? Okay. I have two, and they're two separate genres. One is Pennywise for punk, and it's because I've been listening to them since 90. I didn't catch them on the first album. I caught them on the second album, but I was listening to the first album, which is their self-titled in 1991, which is just Pennywise. But I caught them as 311 just came out with their Blue album, which was 95. So I was listening to Pennywise through all 94, and then I caught 311 in 95. I bought that album, which is their self-titled, which is weird because Pennywise was self-titled, and the Blue album was self-titled, and I absolutely love 311. And usually when I find a band that I absolutely like and I love the album, I go back to see what else that they have had before they became popular. And you know what? Usually those albums are fucking great. Oh my God. Well, unfortunately, Pennywise, the only other album that they had was Unknown Road, which Unknown Road, good album. So, but 311 had music and oh God, Grassroots. Which Grassroots? Oh, what a great album! Oh my God, what a great album! So then there's self-titled, which is their Blue album. I have been a fan for 311 to this day. Every time they bring out a new album, I listen to it, and even though the whole Bob Rock albums, I didn't like that one. I didn't like Don't Tread on Me, and I didn't like their Green album, which had like 20 something songs on it, 23 songs on it. But those are about the only two albums I don't like currently. And the one Don't Tread on Me was produced by Volcano. I think it was Volcano Records, which they filed a lawsuit against them because they weren't really, they were saying, oh yeah, we're gonna get you out there and get you out, and they never did. And then when they came out with, when they started producing with Bob Rock, they started going the natural route again. Bob Rock doesn't like to use chorus reverb. He doesn't like to use sound effects. It's all got to be natural, and that's why old Saint Anger sounded like shit, because he goes, no, we're gonna do it my way, and it fucking was terrible, because that's how Bob Rock thinks. It should all be a natural sound, which 311 is all about natural sound, but natural recording. We can still use effects as long as we use the natural way of recording, which they still do to this day. If you ever go to Breaking Bench, anything new, Blue album, anything on there, it's going to be loud when you turn up the volume. You listen to 311, go to like Stereolithic and any 311, it's going to sound a little lower, but you're going to hear all the instruments. And that's what they thrive their self on. They actually have a test car. When they record a song, they take it out to the test car that has subwoofers, mid-range, tweeters, and they test it there to make sure it sounds good, and then they mix it down. And then they're really all about sound. And it sucks that everybody thinks that 311's like washed up. No, they're still a good band. Stereolithic was they did away with Bob Rock. Now you got to remember, they own their own studio called The Hive, and they record a lot of their stuff from The Hive. I think Grassroots was recorded there, and then prior to the self-titled album, they bought The Hive and recorded the rest of it there. And that's why they actually refer to take it to the Hive. Listen up that you're going to bump to this. And they actually refer to the Hive. There's a song called The Hive, and they purchased The Hive between each album. So they still own it. They still record in it. And when Bob Rock came in, he actually used The Hive, but like did some shit to do whatever album, which I'm not a fan of. It's like Uplifter is the one I don't like. It's the Green album with all the little insignias and stuff like that. I couldn't get into it. I mean, there was a couple songs like Indian Egg and stuff like that were really good, but I couldn't get into it. But Stereolithic is the one right after that, which they did on that. They fired Bob Rock. We're done. He said, no more big labels. We're doing this on our own. So they made, I think it was 311 Records or maybe Hive Records. I can't remember. I have to look back on it. But now they have their own record company or recording company, so they can produce their own stuff. And they made Stereolithic, which the producer of Stereolithic, now you got to remember, they're the singers, songwriters, and stuff like that, but they can't be behind the board. So they have to have somebody run the board and edit and stuff. So they hired the guy that did, what album was that? Stereo, it's the green, I call it the Green album, but it's the one with all the speakers on it, which had, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. Anyways, it had a Come Original on it. Come Original, and that's the guy that produced that album. So they brought him back because he did that album. He did the one before and one after it. And he was by far their friend and the best producer. So they did Stereolithic, which with a 2012 album, I believe, fucking rocks. Oh my God, that just swells 311. And man, I love that fucking album. I still listen to it to this day. The new album, I'm hit and miss. I touch on it every now and then. It just doesn't feel, 311-ish. You got to remember, these bands that have been around for so long, they're novelties. They just make music for themselves now. Like, oh, we don't want to do this, I want to do that. Even though Benj has been around long, but he keeps it safe to make his, to make radio play, to make money, because nowadays it's hard to make money being a musician because of Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, iTunes. I mean, you got to get it out there, but you have to do it in that way. But, CD sales are, that's only if you want the CD. It's really hard nowadays. God, Pennywise. Getting back to my, so my number one. If you were to ask me what is your number one band? Well, it's going to be two: Pennywise for the punk genre and 311 for everything else. Now, again, I'm a Pantera fan. I'm Avenged Sevenfold, and all. I'm there, but just the ones that I grew up on and still listen to this day are Pennywise and 311. So I consider those my top number one bands that I still listen to this day. We're gonna get more into music when the out of town crew gets here. I'm here just tonight because they've got to do something tomorrow, which today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody. I usually don't celebrate holidays because that's just not my thing. I don't even celebrate my birthday, but everybody celebrates it around me for some fucking reason. A birthday is 1 year closer to a casket. All right, that's just the way I feel. I felt like that since I'm gonna say 28, 29 is when I stopped caring about birthdays, and it's a shame, but I don't celebrate my birthday. I celebrate my daughters. I celebrate my wives sometimes. And, everybody's like, "Oh, happy birthday, what's up?" And I don't text anybody back. And they call me, "Oh, I just want to, wish you happy birthday." I don't even answer the phone. I mean, call me bah humbug for everything, but it's just the holidays are just, it's just for people to get in the stores, in my opinion. Now, birthdays aren't. But, that's just an excuse to have a party, which I did back in the day, but I'm older now, so I'm sorry I sound stuffed up, man. I caught something before I left, and I have been sneezing for the past 5-6 hours, and my sneezes are hardcore. It's not a no, it's a like the devil's coming out of my nose, and then he leaves the little tail end of his cape in my nose, so it tickles it again. Then another devil comes out. Oh, it's brutal. I got such a bad headache. But yeah, out of town crew should be here tomorrow. Probably not going to do a podcast till Tuesday, so wait on that. I just wanted to get this off my chest because, man, I love Pennywise, and they just came out with a new album, and so did Benj, and it's a good album. I'm liking Benj. I like the Pennywise. Again, Pennywise. You can argue with me. Yes, all their albums sound the same. It's punk. It's on how and where you place the chorus and how you sing it and where the rolls are, or if there is no rolls, it's just or where it all lands. It's music. I mean, I enjoy Pennywise because it's so upbeat. It's so fast. I mean, it gets you pumping, man. I listened to that all fucking day last time I was in Jacksonville, just all day when I found out about the new album. And I listened to it all day, man. I knocked out some work. I was just fucking pumped. So, and then 311's chill music, smoke a little weed, drink a little beer, have a little fun, that's that. Music, I listen to music and I dissect music, especially when I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm like, all right, what are the drums doing? How are the drums? How's the lyrics? How's the chorus? How's the structure of the song? And I know that, all right, when I was just starting to play drums before I met Briukin, well, actually I had met him, but before we actually jammed together, there was this guy who was like, "Oh, I'll give you a couple tips and stuff." And he goes, I'm telling you right now, to this day, after you learn how to play drums, you will never listen to music the same again. It's not just going to be the singer and you're always singing with it. Nope, you're going to be dissecting everything. And he was right. I mean, he only taught me how to play drums 3 times. But because he said that, I started listening to music different. So, anybody getting into like any music, listen to the instruments. And I'm not talking about pop. because there is no instruments. There's a box with a computer. But listen to the instruments. And I think that's the reason why the Out of Town crew, we all get along, because Laserfinger plays guitar, Bags plays guitar, I drum and sing. I do not play guitar. It's still a pain in the ass. But, but we all like music. And it's really cool because old Laserfingers or Knife Fingers, that motherfucker likes new music. And he's like 60-something. He's fucking cool as shit. But all right, I'm going to end this. Oh, God, I only meant to talk for 10 minutes, and it's 10 o'clock. I got to go to bed. I got to wake up early to go to work, if you know what I mean. So, all right, out of here. RazorRed7.podbean.com. Have a happy Father's Day and good night.